different codes.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a copy of the warning language.
Did you get
Did you get one?
meeting?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
We're
I
in.
was checking.
We're in our meeting now. I know what we're talking about, and it's hard for me to understand it, so.
Right.
I really am struggling with putting this in front of, now, this isn't necessarily the ballot language. That would be the thing that would interest me, I guess. Because that part has to be kept simple.
The reserve fund is gonna be, it's specific, is that correct? To the project. So there's something in here that says including but not limited to.
Right.
To me, that kinda, I don't know, that doesn't really provide, it adds a lot of confusion and
Right.
it's not that clear. I don't know, I'm thinking that should be taken out.
Well, that's the way.
Or either that, when it comes down to it, I mean, it's gonna have to be interpreted, you know, narrowly, I guess, because it doesn't provide flexibility for using the funds for any unknown specific projects.
Well, as long as they fall under, modernize, renovate, and or repair the existing facilities. The including but not limited to, that's more of just clarification.
No, I think it clutters it.
Well-
I think it adds to the confusion.
Well, I know the confusion in the language was that some of the language we used was supposed to be a fund specific to a certain project.
Mhm.
And
That's what got us in trouble.
apparently this MVU Capital Reserve Fund has been through all the lawyers and everything now, and it's supposed to be a good title to do what we've been doing. Our plan the last 10 years was to have have a fund that we could maintain and not necessarily have to spend it every year. Whereas, I'm not sure what the language was that was specific to a project that had to be used.
Maintenance, I think.
Maintenance, it was something that was specific for that project, for that year. If it wasn't used or used entirely, it went back to taxpayers and for the next year,
Became a,
which is a great thing.
became a revenue, right?
Right.
Dennis, does anybody happen to have a copy of the annual report with them? Because the last one would be in it.
Yeah, I don't have that, but I think I do have the language, because we had a bunch of stuff in the last meeting where we had a bunch of language, different language in there, but yeah, I think I took mine out just recently. I was carrying that around for a long time. I don't have
You think MVU is big enough, we got a big enough facility for all those people who are gonna come on the budget first?
it. I can only imagine.
So addition of commas might be helpful if we keep the language at the end, including comma, but not limited to comma, equipment, roofs, etc.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be, that's grammatically a better because otherwise you don't read it correctly. You can mistake how it's supposed to be read. Including, but not limited to equipment, roofs, structures, a lot of commas, but it's the way you'd speak it.
Well, I think, okay, it's probably all in there. The Capital Renewal Reserve Fund, Capital Renewal Maintenance Projects Fund. Those are the different titles that it's had over the years. There was the Roof Maintenance Fund for 10 years, $25,000 for 10 years. That worked nicely. There was no question about that. That was specific, and it built for 10 years. Then it's the next two, Capital Renewal Maintenance Projects Fund, and then or Capital Renewal Reserve Fund. So those two still seem like they made sense at the time. Apparently, legally they didn't. But so I don't have a problem with the name MVU Capital Reserve Fund, and I believe that last statement there. Restricted purpose of large capital maintenance projects to modernize, renovate, repair existing facilities. And as far as having the, including not limited to, you know, I think that was put in there largely for the voters that were reading this and like, okay, what are they talking about? What kinds of things would this be used for? And it's hard to pick out a couple of examples, but you know, here we've got a few examples. And the interesting thing in my mind is that, you know, we had this for 10 years and voters always supported it. I mean, our budgets got voted down many times.
That passed,
Voters
yeah.
always passed that article, so for that article to be the one that got picked on, scrutinized.
I think it might help if we tagged at the end of it that this act will not impose any further taxes or monies to the citizens of
Right.
the district.
Right, because this isn't asking for any money, this
Yeah.
is.
Right, because if they see this and they see all that money,
That's
then,
different.
That's right, that's right.
so I think having an explanatory sentence probably at the end of it,
I don't know if you can do that.
because if they skim through it and then just read the last sentence or something,
Right.
they would realize that there's no further taxes, it's not gonna cost them anything, we're just trying to,
Just a
Unify the fund.
consolidation of money.
what's that?
Just a consolidation of funds.
Consolidation
I
of
don't like the word
funds, yeah.
consolidation, but it's not.
Right,
I didn't think of that.
it is in there, consolidating the existing, yeah. Right,
Yeah, but I don't know if that really means anything to anybody.
right,
Because
I'm not sure.
the
it's
money is
clear.
there, they've already paid tax on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use it for something, you know. This is just getting around a technicality on a label.
That's all it is. It's-
People don't understand that it's just a technicality.
And I think
Both
John-
lawyers have looked at this.
Yeah, and I think John asked the question, what if they vote it down? What if they vote it
Yeah.
down? What happens then?
Well, the money sits there, you
Well,
can't touch it.
all this is, no, it's not really,
No.
it's not really addressing the money, it's just addressing the title.
Right.
So really, that's what we're voting on, is right there. And if they vote no on that, that
Yeah,
means
get
it's.
it.
And
that means
that's
it
why
stays-
and that's why I say this is more specific, correct?
Well,
To,
What's more
the
specific?
account won't be any more specific. The vote on the title, I think John's right, if they vote no, then it's just gonna stay
You don't like the way you named it.
stay the way it is, I guess. I don't know. Because right now, I'm not sure what it's called. I think capital,
I think some of it you'd have to take and use
Isn't
as
it now the
revenue.
capital renewal?
capital renewal
Would not
maintenance
be able to keep the
projects funds or renewal reserve. I think capital renewal reserve fund is what the name that sticks in my mind, so.
I mean, you're never gonna understand how people are gonna see this
Right,
and
and how
you
many
know,
people.
comprehend it, so.
How many people that, even the people that go to the Franklin town meeting style meeting are gonna walk right by this and not even pick one up to vote on it? Because they're only there for one reason, they're gonna be there for their Act 46. So,
But can you add no additional taxes are required with this vote?
I think at this point, yeah, until we approve this language, I think we can.
This only consolidates previously formed funds?
Or just put
No
no
additional
additional
taxes are
taxes are
required.
required?
If this
Right.
is
And
passed.
that's what they'll read and go, okay.
Right, right.
Because I won't pay you more money.
What happened to our business manager?
One question.
We had to go to Franklin.
Can we put the commas in as well?
I don't know who wrote this up.
I'm not sure,
This is
but
better.
grammatically they did a good job, including comma, but not limited to comma. Just breaks the thought,
Okay.
more like you speak.
I think Wynn's an optimist, he thinks those meetings will be done in 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, unless somebody comes up with other good ideas for language, and maybe there'll be a lot of,
I honestly think it's fine. Like
I think it's fine, and I hope
we-
the
we
Act
can
46
massage this-
people
exactly.
tell their people and wrap it up, but
We're
I
gonna
can-
massage this a million different ways, and
we
someone's always gonna
discussed
have
it for
something else.
45 minutes, at least at our meeting. Well, it's really interesting that Swanton is, if this passes, Swanton sees itself, the Swanton has big winners that we changed because the way tax rates are.
I think with those additions, I think it's.
But the trouble with that is there's a cliff after that, and so there's no free lunch there, temporarily.
Well, then, I guess, is this necessarily the ballot language? Think back because we always had an article about, you're sitting in the wrong place for that, aren't you?
Guess so.
We always had an article on our warning about the reserve fund, and I'm trying to picture what it looked like on the ballot.
That's what I was wondering if you happen to have one with you.
I don't.
I mean,
I'm sure between Becky and Wynn, somebody does.
Did Lauren go to somewhere?
So
See,
the warning will appear
let me
where?
check and
I'm not
see.
familiar with this warning.
Okay. Well, the warning will be posted in the paper, it'll be posted at, as a requirement. I mean, it'll be in every school, it'll be in,
What date
local
will we
businesses.
warn that?
The warning has to be approved by, what do you say, Friday?
This
I
Friday.
mean, last year,
I mean, last year, because I probably have a copy of it.
January, probably 28th, 29th,
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
yeah,
Last
well-
week of January.
Yeah. That's when
Last year,
it
town meeting was late, wasn't it? Or was it early?
was in the way, I think.
So it might even been
End of January. I'm trying to think when,
Here we go.
whenever we met.
Warning draft.
You got a draft warning from
Yeah.
January.
That's what I'm looking.
But I'm sure that this wasn't, I mean, that, whatever that article says was not all on the ballot.
Right.
So how did we write it on the ballot? Because that passed every year. So-
It's right here. It's,
It's gotta be simple.
It's-
It really needs to be. It needs to be.
it's right here. Shall the, wait, no. Yeah, shall the voters of Missisquoi Valley Union School District Number 7 appropriate $100,000 toward the Capital Renewal Maintenance Projects Fund.
Okay.
This fund would be restricted and can only be used for large maintenance projects that serve to retrofit the existing buildings or grounds. Projects would involve but not be limited to, so similar language. Such items as roof replenishment and/or parking lot repaving. So that was our article.
So I told the two things that were high priorities, but said we don't have to stop there.
Right, but not limited to.
Right, right.
I mean, the spirit of it is that not to create something new, it's to
Right.
repair, renovate
Right.
the existing facilities.
It'd be interesting if you had every warning there, because I think different people came up with different language.
Right.
Well, that was the claim, is if you look back many years, it
Right.
morphed at some point.
That's some specific thing they wanted to do, so they named them for that.
And they do have all the titles, I think these, the roof maintenance, the capital renewal, and then the capital renewal maintenance
Yeah,
projects. So
Capital
that, those
Renewal
are
Maintenance Projects Fund.
those are the titles that it's had.
Can you put on the ballot, can you put an introductory clause to some extent? Or do you have to start all the ballots off with the way that one started?
I think,
They shall the voters.
Is that the ballot or the warning you're reading? That's the warning?
That sounds like a warning.
it is a warning, but I bet that's what's on the ballot
It's
as
what's
well.
on the ballot.
That's what's on the ballot. So I think this is gonna have to be on the ballot, this Article 1 is gonna have to be, and there's, because this, I mean, up to the 520,000, that's pretty much,
I wonder if you have to have the new consolidated fund shall be formed under state law.
I think, yes, yes.
right.
I think even on the ballot, you can squeeze in that no additional taxes are required, that's important.
Well, we're gonna use a whole sheet of paper anyways.
Okay.
So we're not handing out little strips, it's gonna be a whole sheet, probably this size. So there's plenty of room to put it. So that's my only question is this going to be the same as what's on the ballot? And really,
Yes.
it almost has to be.
I don't see why not.
I don't see why it would be different.
Right,
Those are usually very long, those, in my experience last 2
Yeah,
years.
they run
they're
on
very
and on.
yeah,
And I sit there and read them all,
yeah,
word for word. But I know not everybody does.
right,
When they say no taxes, I go, yeah, that's okay.
right, right.
Well, I mean, we have the informational meetings coming up as well,
Right,
which is another part of the warning. So
Right.
again, it's, I think, as long as we'll just try to make as many opportunities as we can to clarify what this language
Right.
is. It's gonna be the same regardless of, we're gonna have to clarify it.
right.
All right, check, I'm gonna send you a text message, okay? It's,
The,
Bill called me, so I need to send you a message.
So like with the other towns with their Act 46 stuff, I think it makes more sense to just, rather than having a meeting the week before that they may or may not get good turnouts at, like Franklin, well, Swanton would be different, but Franklin, Highgate, and possibly Sheldon, they're gonna have the people there for the vote anyways. It's
So
gonna-
can we just
why-
tag along with
why-
theirs, you mean?
Well, no, we can't do that, but I don't know why, like Sheldon, why would they have an informational meeting before? Just have it as their town meeting, Have their meeting start at
Well, you have
7.
the informational session and then followed by
Right,
Yeah.
because that way you know that the people that are there have
Are informed.
gotten the information.
Right.
Because it's a floor vote, so the only people that are gonna, so why do you wanna bring the same people there twice?
Yeah. Because you're gonna lose two people for sure.
Well,
You might need some too.
well, the people that went the week before, they'll, oh, okay, I agree with that, and then they may not make it to vote.
That's
but-
what I'm thinking.
Or they may say, well, I hate that, but.
So I better come make sure I vote against it.
But yeah, I guess in my mind, it's gonna be an hour gathering, people are gonna show up, they'll talk about it for however long, and then vote.
How much time do we have? 15 minutes?
I think we're good until they come back.
Okay, good. We don't know when that's gonna be, it might be a while.
Right, right. It's supposed to be 8:30.
So we have this to do tonight and some contract stuff to
The
sign.
contracts, I think they're all approved, I'm not sure, but
We get
yeah,
those?
we can, the pile's sitting right there, so here's the man with all the answers.
And do we
Do you
need
want
to
to try and
stay
read this, or do
afterwards?
you want me to read to you?
Jay can do that, contract.
Okay, so Becky pulled it up.
Okay,
So basically, shall the voters of the Missisquoi Valley Union District appropriate $100,000 toward the capital renewal and maintenance project fund. This fund would be restricted and could only be used for large maintenance projects that serve to retrofit the existing buildings or grounds. And they gave examples of roof and paving of the parking lot.
And John.
John found it?
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
so that was, and that's what's probably
It's
right on the
comforting
ballot
to know
as well.
that you agree, John.
We're thinking that's probably what's on the ballot.
That, this is from the
That
ballot.
was on the
This is
ballot.
from the warning, yep. Yep, on the ballot.
So, all right. So I guess to get the point across, we have to, there's really nothing in there. The only thing we were thinking is that maybe no additional tax is needed somewhere at the end. I guess would be the only place to put it, but other than that, really the information that's there has to stay there.
So something to the effect then that no additional monies would be requested or required of the voters.
Yeah,
So I said no additional.
that this article only consolidates previously existing funds under one title.
Which is our wording right up there.
And that's what we'll have to make sure we explain at any informational gathering we have, is that, well, that's all this is, it's just a title change, title.
The money's already there.
Right.
But we need to put it under a title
Yeah,
that actually works for advantage.
yeah. So, okay,
Well, at the same point, you don't want us, there's no additional, money requested at this time.
well, for this vote,
Because be careful what you say.
Yeah.
People might construe that as we'll never ask them for any more money.
right,
Correct.
right,
We're gonna
right,
vote on the town meeting.
right.
Right, and then a year from now, you'd be like, wait, you told us you weren't gonna ask us for any more money.
And you
You'll
can
get
say no
confused as to
additional
what's going on.
taxes are required for this article.
Right.
Yeah.
Jay, does that folder there have the contracts that Wynn said? You can go about it, you got it?
Yep. It does.
All right, so if we can squeeze a line in at the end about no more money needed, then I think we're pretty much in agreement with it. And then
Yeah.
Do you think Becky can make those changes right now and print something off?
that's what Wynn was saying, is that we're gonna change things and then we'll have them, but we could, so I guess we'll see what we can change first or what we can add realistically, and then we can approve
Right,
it.
because I think we want to get this done tonight. so-
Right, right.
And they're probably not gonna want to hand,
No, but, no, they're gonna,
circles and crosses.
they're gonna print it off. Yeah, that's what Wynn was saying, he's gonna access the printer and get a fresh one printed off, and then we can approve it. So I guess we'll hold off and see if we can get that done, and then I guess we'll go to, but I think we're good with that, right? As far as,
Yep.
Yep.
Do we want to vote on this now, and if there's no changes,
we could, and I guess the only other thing I would think of is that if we can get this rewritten, then we can actually have a,
Right, it would just be one less thing to have to
Right.
do. when we get-
right. I'm fine with that, and if I would entertain a motion to approve this warning with the addition of a line at the end.
Grammatical changes.
You have to say it, so.
Right, so that's what I'm wondering, if there's a better way to write it than what I just wrote here, there probably is.
What do you have, Dennis?
I just wrote no additional taxes required for this article.
One of them should say no additional monies are being requested or something like that.
That's
Because
what I meant.
taxes is different
No
than.
tax monies.
Right, so that's why I'm hesitant to approve it as I wrote it, but there may be a better way to say it and say the same thing.
And you could say no additional monies are required in this article.
Yeah, I would, even though it's said, it's stated up above, but then consolidating, isn't it stated up here?
Consolidating existing.
Right,
Yeah.
But I would remind them down here also, yeah, that they're just consolidating the funds, and it's only, there's no money, new monies needed, you're just
Okay.
consolidating previous monies under one title.
So Dennis, can you say that again, and we'll make a motion?
I'm just concerned about making it longer, because people are already gonna have a hard time reading all that. But right now, no additional monies required for this article. How do we do that? Just, this is just a consolidation of titles?
No, you don't need to say that.
This
It's
article
already-
only
it's already-
consolidates
Right,
It already
previous
says it on
existing
top.
It already says
funds
it on the top.
right.
under one title.
I don't wanna.
I think that one line's
I don't wanna
fine, just
repeat
no
it.
additional
Yeah.
monies.
You can highlight that or bold it in some way.
There we go.
I would, because that's what they'll read.
Then they'll go to it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That'll be the,
No more
yeah.
money, okay, that's all right.
Yep, okay, so let's, let's vote on that then. I'll entertain that motion.
I'll move it.
All right, so the motion made, I can write that down if you want. Motion made by Rob, seconded by
Greg.
Greg, to approve the article of the warning as amended. Any other discussion?
Do we want to make those, add those commas?
Oh, yeah, well, that'll be part of the amendment,
Okay.
As amended.
yeah, so, all right,
Two commas in the sentence.
perfect. So, all right, no further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right. All right, so now, there was some,
Now, you have your informational meeting set.
We don't have one.
well,
Is
there is
Oh, I
one,
mean, you
there is
mean for
one,
this, yeah.
there is one dated here in the
November
morning,
first.
so November 1st.
That's for the
Wednesday,
vote.
November 1st.
I have this with
It's a,
No. So,
It's
right,
from
I
would
think
like that
we
they
weren't
are.
questioning that, it's all part of the warning, so
Okay.
I guess,
I'm just following the agenda.
right. So we did have an opportunity to change it if we wanted to, I think. 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night, it sounds like a good time to have it.
Probably snowing.
Kind of in between sports seasons,
Or it could be 85.
Yeah.
really nothing can happen.
Week before skate night, in case you care.
That's fine.
Week before skate night.
Yeah.
Have you been to that before?
No,
This
very
is your-
good thing.
This is your lucky year.
Yeah.
I'll
That's-
have-
that's on
I'll
the
ask
first
Gene to
one.
have you hand out the trophies.
I can be a judge.
This is not Mr. MVU and Miss MVU.
No, no.
Hey.
Just skip,
Let's
no.
get-
So
Guess rehearsals the 8th, 9th, and 10th. 9th and 10th are the evenings of the show.
November.
7 o'clock. Big lunch at the Big Game Coffee House.
Well, you want to.
Might not be there on the 10th, so I think about it.
Yeah. Thursday night's usually not as well attended.
Oh, it's Friday.
This is the night they hand out the hardware.
Okay.
Well, it's like they're hanging from the rafters. You violate every fighter code. All right, Dennis, I'm gonna
Yes.
hand you this.
We accomplished our agenda.
And, well, you have a side letter there.
All right.
You might even have two by the looks. And
Yeah.
then you're looking on the next page of your agenda at contracts for the school improvement instructional coach and the math interventionist. So there should be
Yeah.
two
I
contracts
just
there as
talked
well.
about it. So I'm almost thinking, we'll make a motion anyways to approve them, but, okay, so right now there's two side letters, two contract side letters. And, one deals with, Joe Barney and Joe DePady. As we discussed at the last meeting, there was a credentials issue for those guys. They're not, certified teachers, but there's a plan in effect to get them to that point. And this is a side letter with the association so that they would be okay with us, using them until they're certified, so apparently,
And does it give an end date of when, that's when they have to be certified to become a
good question. UTC courses.
Three.
Okay,
It's a
so
3-year.
3 courses per year for a total, yep, okay.
And that meets state requirements, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm not sure about state requirements, but it's, they had to run it by the association, and they haven't signed it yet, so.
That's the money, right? That they're getting a greater allocation of money?
That is correct.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think there is a approved plan at Vermont Tech that the agency of ed approves for licensing.
There is,
Yeah, so
through
that-
Vermont Technical College. Patty Coltis is the lady who's in charge, and she is sort of shepherding.
They do it for all the career and tech centers, plus Linden and
Yes.
MVU, I think, would have satellite type
Mhm.
programs, isolated programs.
And this one here is a side letter with the association as well, dealing with Julie Curtis, who is, she's transitioning or transitioned already from the role of a social studies teacher to become Franklin Northwest Supervisory and School Improvement Grant instructional coach at MVU. So she'll be working through the SU, but still working at MVU.
Who is it? Who is she?
Julie Curtis, a longtime social studies teacher.
Is that somebody you now have to replace?
We've replaced her.
You're okay.
So, yep, if they sign it, then everybody will be all set there. So this one here has a signature line for the association president, the SU board chair, and the MVU board chair. So I think, I'm just wondering if we should have it in two separate motions. We might as well have it in two separate motions. Let's have entertain a motion to accept the side letter, the contract side letter for Joe Barney and Joe DePady.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Greg. Have a second?
Go ahead.
Second.
John Hall, second.
Seconded by John. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Contract.
Do you want to sign that one, then, so pass it back?
Sure. Joe. All right, now I entertain a motion to approve the contract side letter for Julie Curtis. I guess we just discussed that, so do I have that motion?
I'll move that next.
Motion by Don. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rob. All right, this is any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion
Jay, has she been with you a long time?
Julie? Yes, 17 years. Just a youngster.
Yeah. All right, so now we will do this as a separate, or we'll do this as a one motion on three here, three contracts. So I guess this is Curtis, both for Julie Curtis, two different jobs.
I think
One's instructional coach position, and one's student support service, secondary. So she's still got a high school contract.
She'll be working through the summer. Is that
With
what
this,
it's-
correct, she has some additional days,
With
is
this-
what that is.
basically,
I believe.
yeah,
She's got a teacher contract at 186 and then,
right.
yeah.
But she's not going to be teaching, so she's
Right.
stayed on the MVU pay scale,
Correct.
and we've added
Mhm.
her instructional coach job. So,
Because it is a one-year position. So she is retaining her rights within the social studies department if either she or the school decides that it's not of mutual benefit.
right, yep.
What exactly are the roles and responsibilities of this
Instructional coach.
She is working, she's available to work with all teachers. Right now, we have her presently working extensively with a lot of our first and second year people to sort of, as we transition into a number of new areas, proficiency-based graduation, the personalized learning plans for students and all of those things. As the ground continues to change, she is there through a grant. And I think it's a 4-year grant, is my understanding of it.
And then, my
Not a lot of
experience
detail
with
there, but that's.
these instructional coaches is they're the, if we're looking at test scores, then she's going to be focusing energy on what are the best practices that teachers can employ to make sure their scores go
That's,
improve, or
That's
if they're
correct.
brand new, that they get at a level that is appropriate for children.
With a mentor?
big part of it, yes, yeah, in a non-evaluative way.
Does she also do some work with students?
She's available to meet with students, but I think her role will be limited, mostly to adults.
All right. The other contract we have here is Ian Minier, and he is coming in as an interventionist / specialist. So that would be, I suspect it's strictly MVU because it's in my folder.
New to MVU.
Correct. And again, my understanding is that's through a grant as well.
Yeah, that's right.
That Libby has procured through the issue.
Is he a graduate of MVU?
I don't think so. For some reason, I think he might be a Fairfax boy.
Sounds like maybe Fairfax.
Lives in Williston
I know he's
now,
doing some
but-
coaching over there right now.
Okay.
Are these grants guaranteed to continue year after year?
I think they're guaranteed
Can
for...
they pull them out
I
after a
believe
year?
they're guaranteed for 4 years, is my understanding.
It's a guarantee, though, that they will run for 4 years, okay?
I mean, Libby would know that answer, you know, much better than I do. My understanding in the conversation is just we're looking at it for 4 years.
And interventions.
As opposed to this one here was for 1 year.
No, actually, the
No, they were
grant for
actually
the
all 4
instructional
years.
coach is a 4-year piece.
Which is a 1-year contract.
Right, it's 1 year.
But it's a year at a time.
I see.
That way, if she didn't feel like it's a good fit. or
Right.
she
Sounds
still
like the
does
job,
it,
but
then
we
she
don't
can
like
go
her
back
doing the
to
job.
Right, right, so
It'll be changed.
And an interventionist is going to work specifically with students.
He is working specifically, we have targeted him for our 9th grade algebra program, because as you saw last week, well, I should say 2 weeks ago, when Jen did the presentation on the most recent scores, and she also mentioned the fact that this year the state is moving the high school testing from grade 11 to grade 9, which of course was a surprise to everybody back in August. We felt that this position could best serve us in grade 9, because that's where they're going to be tested this year, with the algebra program specifically.
So they're tested at the end of grade 9.
We're testing in the spring of, the testing window opens in April and closes around Memorial Day, so we'll probably hit it somewhere between April vacation and May.
Do you know what his past experience is? As far as what his credentials are?
He's a licensed math teacher, certified, and has been looking for full-time employment.
So he doesn't have any experience yet?
He, to my knowledge, he does not have any.
Because I'm just thinking it's going to take quite a bit to turn this around in a year. And for somebody that doesn't have any experience, I don't know what they can really bring to the table that others already can.
Well, I think it's more the interventionist position of it, it's not necessarily going to be his knowledge, it's going to be the time spent.
And probably one-on-one in small
We'll be
groups,
working
right?
one-on-one small group.
Instead of being one of 28, you're one of maybe 2.
Right, it's more exposure, the same thing is going to help.
And I'm assuming in that case with, if the teachers are doing assessments, regular assessments, then they can send people to him
Correct.
that need specific work on skill sets that they are
Yes.
up to par.
Yep.
All right, so I would entertain a motion to authorize the board chair to sign contracts, as discussed, contracts for Ian Minier and Julie Curtis. Can I have that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Eric,
I'll second it.
second by Greg. All right, any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
I know you thought of this did I ask this before, or is that 3 other groups, I'm certain? Is a quorum required, and what is a quorum of our board?
We have 9-member boards, so,
5.
So we have 5?
We have 5.
I just
We
wondered.
have 6, actually.
I've actually had a meeting once where I realized at the end I didn't have a quorum. Was it a good thing? Some kind of sensitive.
Well, the chair can declare a quorum,
Yeah.
and if it's not challenged, they'll ride through.
They'll ride.
Under Vermont law, more than 3 members of more than the majority. If a majority of the board is together, it's considered a meeting. That's
Right.
very warned.
It's kind of like the church where 2 or 3 gather together, my name will be in the midst of
There you go, yeah. In some cases, that's true. Those coming back, Dennis. Thank you.
thank you.
That's your thoughts on.
Maybe that task wasn't as easy as they thought it was.
No, Well, you know what, I can see that the cookies are gonna take an awful hit right now.
I think so.
And they didn't come back in time.
Save the cookies.
Do we have a need to be here afterwards?
No, you won't, because it's, you know, the SU board members will have, we're gonna reconvene as an SU board.
Yes, your board will.
So we're not done yet, but no, I think, did we have anything else on our?
I see nothing here, no. Because you took care of you took care of the side letter for the instructional coach. You took care of the 2 contracts.
And I can
Yeah.
I guess what we did want to sign a warning. So we want to sign
Yeah, we
it,
need
well,
to-
we want to sign it before Friday, so whether we all want to make a trip back in once we get a fresh
I'd
copy.
rather not.
I'd rather
Right.
not, let's just get it
I'd rather not
updated
too.
and signed.
And I can,
Yeah,
but if we can add that line in, I'd much rather add the line, repair it, and then have it signed just once, otherwise we'll have to come back in and re-sign.
So, do you just
Anyway.
need to grab Becky, or who has the?
Oh.
Who file?
Whoever's least busy, I guess, is,
Well, tell Whit we're going home.
Do you want me to see if Becky's available to join us?
that would be great.
And if she, because my guess is she may have that.
She's probably the one that wrote that up.
Okay. Actually, I'm thinking Pierrette might have.
Oh, great.
I'm sure they've got the file though, one of those guys.
I'll see if she's available.
Thank you.
Get cookies.
Ball game's on.